Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and before we get going, I wanted to mention to you that in the private group today, we're going to talk about the greatest XRP conspiracy that there ever was. And I'm going to show you my favorite, favorite's the wrong word, but the most fascinating theory around that conspiracy ever. I've been following Ripple since 2014. I've had this channel since 2018. And there's been a lot of them, but this one's by far, by long shot, the best. And I'll show you, it's kind of several conspiracies in one, but it's by far the greatest, and I think most people would agree. This right here, the guys at iTrustCapital hopped on a Spaces the other day. iTrustCapital is my partner. But they were talking a little bit about some of the things that are coming.
Heard people request, but there's a lot of people who tweet or X out at us requesting different tokens, and we certainly keep track of all of them. We're going to be adding a ZEC probably shortly in the next week or so, as that one we've been getting more and more requests. And that one, I mean, Zcash has just been a wild narrative. I mean, sometimes these tokens go from old school OG tokens that are almost forgotten about, and then they get kind of like altcoin kind of hype cycles, and that's what makes the space so crazy and so unpredictable.
You got it. Thank you.
Hey, iTrust, couple questions. Do you guys offer like a rollover from like a traditional IRA account? And do you also offer any type of managed services?
Great question. The rollovers are the bread and butter of how we fund our accounts on the retirement account side. There's 3 different ways that you can fund a retirement account with us. One of them is a 401k rollover. If someone left their job, they typically move their 401k to another provider or to a new 401k. For a lot of people, they are sick of just investing in like a target date fund or like a mutual fund that's available in their 401k, and they want to self-direct the investments, and that's why they roll it over to us. So rollover is certainly one of the options. We'll equip you with everything you need to initiate the rollover from your current provider. We also have people in the US 7 a.m. to 5 o'clock Pacific on weekdays to help answer any questions you have about that. So you can absolutely do a rollover. In terms of managed strategies, right? We don't provide financial advice. We're a software platform. We plug into qualified custodians, which are trust companies that allow us to do what we do compliantly. At the same time, we are going to be offering managed strategies, not directly, but through registered investment advisors and other sort of fund managers that'll be able to work with our clients in order to deploy managed strategies. I wish I can say more right now, but we will be making a pretty exciting announcement in the next week or two about managed strategies. And we'll probably just keep deploying and finding new partners to offer managed strategies in the future. And we think that's where the puck is going, right? Because people want to self-direct, people want to buy and hold, but at the same time, people want to be able to earn money on their crypto while it's just sitting there idle, but they want to do it in a safe, compliant, risk-managed way. And it's our job to identify opportunities that deliver that to our clients. So yeah, looking forward to speaking more about that in the near future.
Uh-oh. Sounds like yield products coming. If you want to open an account like I did, you can either roll over an IRA, you can just create an IRA. I have a Roth IRA there. That's one of the things I have, and I highly recommend Roth IRAs. Personally, that's what I do. You can talk to them about it. You can also open a premium custody account and get a $100 funding bonus on either. Go to itrustcapital.com/XRP Army, and you can it'll take you right to this page, and you can open an account. The market is still down, pullback mode, 239 XRP. I was paying some bills this morning, but I think I'm going to be ready to go in. If this thing goes down a little bit more, I'll definitely go in. So why is the market down? Two reasons, in my opinion.
I think we're just seeing the beginning of it. And if we go back there, I think because there was so much pent-up demand, I think the entire Biden 4 years saw $1 trillion of foreign direct investment. Maybe it was 250 billion. Whether it is trade, tax, he's made it known that America's in the world. We're going to give you prizes coming in, inflation, permitting, state lines on a pipeline. The only thing slowing us down here is this government shutdown. The government is standing in the way. We've tried to get it out of the way. And, I think that this is the Democrats have not been able to shut President Trump down in the courts. They go straight to the courts to fight the policies. They lose in the Supreme Court. They've tried to shut him down, not with you all, but the media creates these narratives. And then now they're just going to shut down the government, fold their arms, and not get anything done. And as we can see here, it's the private sector that's going to get it done. We need to get the government out of the way. We need to get it reopened. And, I'm calling on moderate Democrats to come across the aisle, reopen the government, and you'll be a hero.
Yes, they will. And they'll also lose elections if they don't open it soon.
Here's
the other reason the markets are down.
An agreement or a deal at that meeting. Are we in for a sustained trade war with China?
Well, you're in one now. Look, we have 100% tariff. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be exposed as being a nothing. We would have no defense. They've used tariffs on us, but we've never had anybody sitting in that chair that felt the need to do it. And they've allowed us to be $37 trillion in debt, et cetera, et cetera. Tariffs are a very important tool for our defense, for our national security. If we don't have tariffs, we're not going to have national security. As an example, if you look at Pakistan and Iran, I told them I was in the midst of negotiating a trade deal with Iran, and Pakistan was going to be in line. And because of tariffs, they all want to negotiate much differently. We're making a good deal. And then I heard that they're shooting at each other. And I said during one of my conversations.
Okay, check it out. See, I don't pay any attention to all these short-term things because, as we've learned, today we're in a trade war with China. Tomorrow they're having a meeting and they've come to a negotiation. Today the government shut down. Then tomorrow, all of a sudden, it's not. And so that's why, for me, these are all opportunities. I'm looking at the bigger picture like this.
Where will typical portfolios be to crypto assets by the end of this decade, by 2030, do you think?
Yeah, so I actually feel like I've seen this movie a couple times before. I was at Goldman when they did the GSCI, and now everybody thinks of commodities as an asset class. I was in emerging markets in the 90s, and now EM's an asset class. It seems self-evident to me that blockchain will be an asset class. And if you give me all the way out to 10 years, I think every institution will have a blockchain team and something like 8 or 10% of their assets in blockchain. And as I said, now the majority literally have 0.0, and even the most, thoughtful endowments out there have maybe 2% in blockchain. So it's still very, very early.
Very, very early. Look at this. U.S. Bank Corp has formed a new unit dedicated to digital assets and money movement. Go figure. I can't remember if they're a Ripple partner or not. Wouldn't surprise me.
You mentioned just a little while ago the tokenization of real estate and the potential to tokenize your family's real estate. Would you ever consider tokenizing any of the real estate in your portfolio?
So I've got a big announcement. I won't tell you right now, but the answer is yes, I would. We're working on it as it pertains to one specific building that I'm doing right now, and I think it's good.
Think about this, folks. Which of you, who, think about, we're entering an entirely different world now, folks. I've been talking about this for over 5 years. Imagine a world where all of a sudden someone says, hey, you can own tokens in the Empire State Building. Or I've always thought of the example, I went to Auburn University And Auburn football's a big deal, even though they're terrible right now. Auburn football's a big deal. If they ever decided to tokenize, not Auburn football stadium, but any football stadium, they have fans. What do you think those fans are going to do? Let's say they tokenize the Atlanta Falcons stadium. All of a sudden, people could buy tokens in that. All the fans could buy. I mean, this is going to be freaking massive. Even tokenizing one of Trump's buildings, it would sell out overnight, and they know it. That's where this world's going. It's going to be crazy in a good way.
It's going to be absolutely incredible. And so many people would love to have a piece of something that we do. If I decided to build a hotel, in Washington, D.C. or in Dubai or in New York, why do I have to go out again using the Deutsche Bank or, why do I have to go out to them and get financing? Why can't I just go out to the masses? Why can't I go on my X and go out to our tens and tens of millions of people and say, guys, you know what? I'm going to build the greatest tower in Dubai or in New York. Who wants to join along? Who wants to share in that? Who wants to buy 1/1,000,000th of that building and put in $1,000 and be part of our success together, right? Under no other scenario could they ever have had access to that project.
You can see why the banks are going nuts. It's not just about the competition from stable coins. This is the bigger stuff right here. They should be freaking out. Here's another couple of clips from Brad Garlinghouse yesterday at DC FinTech.
And I mean, look, you had a federal judge. This is a quote. A federal judge said about the Gensler SEC, they are not following a faithful allegiance to the law. Yeah, that's pretty damning for a federal judge who happened to be appointed by Obama, that they would come out and say that about a Biden SEC. I don't think we will go back to that. And frankly, I think the ship has sailed. I think that you can't put the genie back in the bottle in the United States. I don't think you really could, even though Biden may have tried with Gensler. But I think now that we are where we are, we are seeing many banks lean in. But for years, the U.S. was a frozen market.
Right.
Okay. And then here's another clip. Nothing stops Ripple.
I'm wondering too, kind of dipping back into market structure here for a second. I mean, if the Senate doesn't get stuffed on market structure, you've said that you've already seen this increased interest in things like stablecoin in the markets. I mean, does that kind of put a freeze on things if there's no regulatory clarity coming from Congress this year and no certainty? Is that going to make it that much harder for a lot of the digital asset space to gain traction with companies, gain traction with banks?
So I think you asked the question in kind of a black versus white, and I think about it as gray. It depends upon the bank. It depends upon, what people like Paul Atkins say publicly and put out as position papers on behalf of the SEC or CFTC. And I think it's kind of to be determined. But the more time that goes by, the better I think it is for the industry, period. Again, Ripple happens to be in a unique position, and that we fought a multi-year battle to get that clarity for XRP. And so that the number of people building in and around the XRP ecosystem grew quickly after that resolution was final, because okay, this is now clear. I think the whole industry needs that. The whole industry needs to be able to lean in and build, whether you're building payment solutions, custody solutions, land title registry solutions, tokenizing commercial real estate. Like this tsunami is still coming, and I don't think there's anything that the U.S. federal government is going to do to stop that. Leaning in to provide clarity so that consumers are protected, companies know how to operate. The vast, vast, vast majority of entrepreneurs I know in crypto want to play by the rules. They're asking to understand what the rules are.
Okay, you're not going to want to miss this. Trust me on that. The greatest of XRP conspiracies, and one of the theories that I find more fascinating than all others, we could call it the Great XRP Conspiracy. Go to daixrp.com, that's the Patreon, or you can join through YouTube, clicking the join button below any of these YouTube videos, or hit subscribe through X. You get the full video plus the extended video with no commercials. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Here we go, lock in.